How is everything going today, guys? My name is Copycat, and welcome to another video that focuses on glitches in the Super Mario Bros. Franchise. Where in this one, I wanted to look at ones that cause certain things to get stuck. Now, this can be power-ups, items, enemies, or even Mario himself, showing you how these can happen and what happens to you when they do happen. Wanting to showcase relatively easy ones so that you can try them out for yourself at home. And oh yeah, before we get started, I hope you all subscribe to my channel, hitting that bell to stay notified when I upload new videos. To start things off, we're obviously going to look at the first game of the series, Super Mario Bros. That came out for the NES in 1985. Having a few ways you can get stuck during your playthrough, starting with being able to wedge yourself above the pipe in any of the game's underwater stages. This can occur in World 2-2, 7-2, and the underwater section of World 8-4, needing to swim above the pipe and into this crevice, where then you just have to walk forward to phase into the wall. As you can see, you can't exit once you get into this space, causing you to need to wait until the timer hits 0, as I doubt you want to restart. I'm sure this happened a lot by accident to players, and probably is the reason why it's changed in the European version, with the developers filling in the block space so this can't happen. Next is another place you can get stuck, this time probably not by accident, as it requires you to pull off the minus world glitch. Going to a place that cannot be completed, as taking the pipe in it just causes you to spawn back at the start. To pull this off, you need to be Super Mario in World 1-2, and get to the end pipe, breaking these two specific bricks above it. Next, crouch jump at that last block towards the pipe, where if you did it right, you'll slightly walk into the wall and through it, clipping to the warp pipes on the other side, where you then need to immediately go down the first one. You know you did this correctly if you're now in World -1 or Minus World. Again, being stuck here as it's an underwater glitch level that has no end. Now, this isn't the case if you're playing on the Famicom Disk version, something that was only exclusive to Japan, as here you can actually go through 3 distinct levels and at the end actually finish the game. A sort of surprise that almost seems intentional, but I doubt it because this is a glitch. Finally, I want to talk about something strange that can happen in the Pick the Right Path maze stages, where if you jump too much, then the game will get confused and send you back even if you've chosen right. Again, all you need to do is continuously spam jump in these stages and things will get screwy. Something I believe must have happened to normal players, leaving them confused and feeling gaslit. The second game to come out in North America on the Nintendo Entertainment System is Super Mario Bros. 2 in 1988, having 4 distinct places where your character can get stuck, ruining your experience. Starting with being able to trap yourself down a sand pit of World 2-2. To have this happen, you need to dig down the left path of the vertical room and clear out this area, which takes a bit of time as there's a lot of sand and Shy Guy foes that try to get in your way. Once you've removed enough, there could be a point where you can see that you can't jump back into the sand platforms to progress forward. And because this game has no timer, you have no way of escaping and need to restart everything, which is a pain. I guess these could be considered a glitch, even though it's more of a level design mistake, but either way I thought I'd mention it here as it is pretty interesting. Another place you can get stuck might honestly be the most frustrating, which is in the final boss fight of the game against Wart. As if you do something specific, then you can have the door spawn off screen, being unable to finish. To do this, you have to get the final veggie hit against him when he's a bit off screen, then you need to scroll off screen yourself even a bit further, where if you did it right, you'll see that the end door spawns in a spot you can't reach, meaning you can't beat the game, which is a tragedy, especially if you didn't mean to do this. The next place you can get stuck is after you defeat the Claw Grip boss fight of World 5, where once you defeat it, you can then crouch slide underneath his rocks it throws at you, putting you in a place that you can't get out of. This again is just a level design error, as they didn't put a block in a spot that they should have. Although I doubt many players accidentally stumbled across this, as it is a bit out of the way, and is probably something more explorers found. Finally is a way that you can get trapped in a mini boss fight area, specifically in the one against the Birdo of World 3-2. But you do need to be kind of dumb for this to happen, as it really does take a bit of a setup. As you can see, there's a row of mushroom container blocks acting as a buffer between this part of the arena and the area leading to the mask gate, where you need to pluck and quickly throw them so they stay on the top part. If you throw one on top of the other and fall to the lower part of the stage, it can then block you from being able to power jump back up to the top, especially if you're not playing a character like Luigi. So really, you can get stuck there and you're unable to move on. The final of the original trilogy, Super Mario Bros. 3, came out for the system in 1990, having 3 glitches I want to look at, starting with one that can actually be done right away in World 1-1. To pull this off, you need a Super Leaf, as well as needing to clear away all these blocks around the P-switch, as you need some room to fly. Once you got that room, trigger the switch, and fly upwards as fast as you can to the pipe at the top of the screen, and enter it to the sub area. Where here, you need to quickly slide crouch underneath the 3 before things return to normal. If you did it right, you'll now be stuck in the staircase, unable to get out, needing to wait for the timer to run out, or restart your game as you are just in World 1-1. The last 2 I want to look at, both take place at the end of the level of World 3-9, needing to move a few grab blocks in very specific ways to pull this off. The first and most simple involves getting there in Super Mario form and removing exactly these blocks so that there's a gap between the top and bottom one against the wall. Then being able to crouch slide into it and clip into the wall. Again, inside of here, you're stuck and you can't move, needing to wait for the timer to end. For the other, you need to approach that end pipe now in small Mario form, having to clear these 3 blocks near the pipe and the wall. Again, leaving that top block in place. Next, go backwards in the stage and collect a Super Shroom. Then, go back to the gap you created and wedge yourself in there. This part is a little bit tricky as you have to crouch jump towards the pipe while pressing down at the same time, where if you're lucky/skillful, you'll actually clip through the pipe and enter a strange looking red one instead. This for some reason puts you behind the screen where you're only able to scroll the camera and can't see Mario at all, with your game being soft lock and you needing to die or restart. Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels, the true Japanese sequel, wasn't released in North America until the Super Mario All-Stars collection on the SNES in 1993, being what can happen with the coral in some of the underwater stages. If you swim towards them and then quickly turn around and look the other way, then Mario can get sucked through the wall and actually can get stuck there. However, it's only momentarily, so it doesn't really affect your game negatively. Now, I know that this isn't that groundbreaking, but there really isn't that much info on glitches for this game in general, so if you know of any that should have been in this video, then please let me know in the comments below. Up next, we're going to look at the Super Nintendo Super Mario World entry that came out for the system in 1991. Where to start, I want to look at Vanilla Dome 2, which has a pretty easy method that allows you to be able to get into a solid platform. First, you need to find the P-switch and take it past the rows of brown blocks and this line of coins. Next, you have to trigger the switch, and then quickly crouch slide into the coins, only taking away ones from the bottom, remaining crouched as the timer ends. Finally, all you have to do is spin jump, and you should get transported through the floor and into the platform itself, causing you to get stuck, although you can move around in this very funny spot. In Donut Secret 2, access through the secret exit of the Donut Secret House, you can get a shell stuck in a pipe by using Yoshi. All you need to do is lick up a Koopa that you can spit out, and do just that while you're pressing yourself up against the pipe, where, if done right, you'll see that the Koopa is still spinning, but stuck in the pipe. Now, it's not exactly stuck forever, as you can lick it up again and use it, so I guess this is just a technicality, but still worth showing off. Lastly, I want to look at a method of getting a P-switch stuck here within a block. A thing that can happen right near the beginning of the Special World Tubular stage. What you need to do is grab the P-switch and bounce gently on the springboard, getting as close as you can to the pipe. When you're ready, and with good timing, you need to flick the P-switch upwards, where once in a while, if you're lucky, you can get it stuck in a spot where it's ungettable. If you happen to be very skilled, then you can get it stuck and have it glitch out, spamming endless Yoshi wings. A way, I guess, then you can use this item in this level, which you're not supposed to, but either way, it looks goofy. Super Mario Land 2 for the Game Boy is the next title to contain a few stuck-based glitches, starting with a pretty strange one that you can do in the first level of the game, making you fall through the floor and into a place that you can't escape. This is a bit complex to pull off, so just stay with me. Where first, you have to be in small Mario form and carry a shell from a Koopa to the end of the stage, triggering the minigame bell. While you're in the animation of going through the exit, you need to throw the shell and die, while also, I guess, completing the stage, glitching things up. This was all a way to be able to get the carrot power up through the crane game, while also being able to replay that introductory stage, which is something that you are not supposed to do. You then need to use that power up to jump from this block to a platform above the exit, where then you can jump again to find an invisible platform that you have to stand on. In this spot, you have to start jumping a lot while holding down at the same time, which will eventually cause the screen to scroll and Mario to appear behind the exit inside of the wall. When you're here, you can then jump under the stage and get stuck inside of the wall under a sub area where you can't get out, which is just actually kind of awesome. There are so many other ones I want to mention for this title, including being able to get into something called Glitch World, but I'm going to save that for another video as there's a lot of moving parts to it, and I want to explain everything that you can do here more in depth, so stay tuned for that one. The prequel/sequel to Super Mario World, given the title of Yoshi's Island, came out for the SNES in 1995. Having a couple glitches you can pull off in this very different game, beginning with one where you can get a Koopa stuck in the hill at the end of World 4-5. To start this, you need to knock the red Koopa out of its shell on the hill, then let it go back into it until you see its shaking animation. You then have to bonk off it again, and if you hit it correctly, the shell will go flying off and the naked Koopa will be stuck walking back and forth in the ground. Although it's not technically stuck forever as you can eat it up with Yoshi, but otherwise you can't interact with it. The second one is where you can actually get stuck in a spot, being unable to move forward, needing to use the strange support ghost, and also clip into the wall of World 5-4. To do this, you need to have at least one egg, and ride the platform on top of this strange creature to this part of the stage. Then, needing to use the egg to quickly remove a few thorns on the ceiling. Once removed, stand on the very left of the platform, and when the foe travels upwards, you can actually clip through it if you're on the exact perfect angle, which sends you backwards through the wall, meaning the support ghost moves forward, leaving you stranded. All you really can do here is die, as there's no timer in this game. A strange glitch I doubt would happen normally during your playthrough, but these have to be found somehow, so who knows. The very first game in the series where its gameplay is based in the 3D realm is Super Mario 64 for the N64. Having 3 particular glitches I want to showcase out of honestly dozens I could have chose from this title, starting with one where you can get the penguin stuck in Cool Cool Mountain. This is super simple as you just have to pick up the penguin at the beginning and drop him into the open smokestack that leads to the slide, where now you can see that the funny bird is still there, but you can't collect him at all. I know it's not that insane of a glitch, but you do need to return that penguin to its mother to gain the star, so you at least have to leave and re-enter the course if you want to do that. Next is a glitch that can be performed on some slopes, but most easily is done in Bob-omb Battlefield, where if you dive into this corner and slide at the right angle, then you can get stuck only momentarily. This is actually pretty tough to pull off, and in a spot that's very out of the way, so I doubt this would happen naturally. But I know there's some weirdos out there that play differently, so who knows. Finally is more of an intricate glitch that puts you in a space in Peach's castle that you're really not supposed to be in, needing to first complete the game as you have to have access to the courtyard's cannon to get to the top of the castle. Once you're on this slope, you can easily clip through the wall by just walking forward. And when you land, you're now in this weird glitch space in between the level that you're not supposed to be in, where entering the doors will cause crazy things to happen as you just put back into this space, which can go on for as long as you like. Now, you aren't stuck here forever, as you can just walk through the wall to get back into the castle, although at first this isn't that apparent of a thing and you might think that you're trapped. The next game to be released, also in the 3D realm, is Super Mario Sunshine for the GameCube, having 2 glitches that fit within this category of this video, starting with one where you can get stuck falling in air for a brief period of time. This can happen in the Super Slide secret stage, located down the pipe in the northeast portion of Delfino Plaza, needing to also have the rocket nozzle equipped, as it's the only way to get above the death wall at the end of the slide. To do this, you have to launch yourself around here, and aim just past the last platform into the void, where if you did it right, you'll end up falling for much longer than normal, getting to the point where it actually looks like you're getting stuck, but you will eventually die. The other is a glitch that involves using the Cheep Cheeps of Corona Mountain, where you can bonk into them when they jump out of the lava, causing you to get put into a sort of out of bounds area. For some reason the game thinks you're underwater even though you're in lava, so you can't do much here but explore for a brief period of time, still breathing until you die. Also, if you break the surface at all, you will also die. So enjoy your time here while it lasts, although I just wish that you could do more. I might be missing something in this area, so let me know in the comments if I am, but I don't think so. Nintendo would eventually return the series to its 2D roots with the release of New Super Mario Bros. For the dual screen system, having a bunch of stuck glitches that all involve using the game's challenge mode to pull them off. This mode itself is only available once you beat the game and pause in the overworld map pressing LL, RR, XX, Y, and Y, where now when you play you're no longer able to scroll backwards, meaning you can get Mario stuck in some crazy predicaments that force him to clip through a wall, sometimes teleporting to the other side, and sometimes getting stuck. This happens most easily in World 3-3, World 6-1, and World 8-3, where if you leave a small gap at the left part of the screen and then jump/swim up there, the game does the rest and you can get stuck. There's actually another way of getting yourself trapped in World 8-3 if you have a blue shell equipped and swim into these bumpers, where if you did it just right, you'll be unable to move at all, which is really weird. I think this even happened to me by accident during one of my first playthroughs of the game. Something pretty funny, as it's such an innocent looking space that can leave you utterly frustrated. Up next is the space-based Super Mario Galaxy Wii entry that came out for the system in 2007, having one very weird glitch I want to look at that allows you to actually enter a Starstream spacecraft in the space junk galaxy. All you have to do to get in is long jump from this Starstream to the other at just the right angle, where when you land it's in a weird position and you get bonked backwards, getting clipped into the initial starting one. This takes quite a bit of trial and error for it to finally occur, but once you're inside, you'll see that you're trapped, unable to escape, which actually is kinda cool. The second installment of the new Super Mario Bros. Sub-series came out for the Wii in 2009, having a very interesting way that you could get stuck during multiplayer gameplay, which involves the bubble mechanic, which is something that you can do to yourself without losing a life, just simply by pressing A on the Wiimote and C on the nunchuck at the same time. However, to do the glitch, you have to make it to the level's end flagpole with the rest of your party already in bubble form, then needing to touch the flagpole and bubble at the exact same time. Obviously, you know you did it right if every character is now in a bubble and there's absolutely no way of getting out, with you now all floating endlessly to the right of the screen, needing to exit or just wait until the time runs out. The other I want to showcase is a way to get a Spiny stuck within a wall using your Dino Buddy Yoshi, something that can be done in the desert level of World 2-5. All you have to do is have one of those foes in your mouth and begin to slowly sink into the quicksand, pressing yourself up against the side of the wall, where next you just need to spit out the Spiny and it should put the foe into the wall in a glitched out state. This is relatively easy and doesn't affect your gameplay really in any way, so it is kind of a bit underwhelming. The sequel to the space-based Wii entry, titled Super Mario Galaxy 2, came out for the system in 2010, having a glitch where you can get stuck right away in the first stage called the Sky Station Galaxy. The setup for this is a bit tough, as you have to crouch walk perfectly onto the edge of the elevator platform so that you barely clip through the wall as it travels upwards. Something again that is tough, as your traction is slippery, and if you're a bit off it just won't work. Once you are correctly positioned, you then have to backflip, and you should clip through the wall and enter into a small area you're now stuck in, being able to move around here, but you're unable to move out, having to restart. Another way to get stuck can be done in the Throwback Galaxy by getting to the secret sub-area in a way which wasn't intended, having to use the Cloud Flower to help you, as it creates platforms that you can stand on and jump across. If you start from this corner of the galaxy, then you can actually jump across the gap and make it to this teleporter sub-area where you can go through the regular motions of killing all the enemies to get the 1-ups. However, once this is all done, you have no way of getting back to the main part of the course, now stuck here unless you die or leave the stage. Nintendo would perfectly blend aspects of the franchise's 2D and 3D realms with the release of Super Mario 3D Land for the 3DS, having a couple ways you can get stuck and have to restart, starting with being able to float in mid-air if you do something coming out of a coin heaven. All you have to do is crouch walk off of the clouds, and when you get out, specifically this one in 4-3, you'll be stuck in mid-air, unable to do anything for some unknown reason. The second is one where you can get hard-locked in the first Bowser boss fight located in the castle of World 1, done simply by crossing this gap and getting ahead of the boss. This is all done with the help of a Super Leaf, where you then can trigger the end switch before the King Koopa can even appear on screen, confusing the game so it doesn't know what is going on, making it so that it can't be completed. The third installment of the new Super Mario Bros. Sub-series is oddly given the moniker of being the second, came out for the 3DS in 2012, having 2 spots in 2 separate levels where things can momentarily get stuck, starting with enemies within the bricks of World Star 1. This is very easy to do as you just have to uncover the switch near the beginning of the stage, then just wait till the timer runs out while a foe is walking within the coins, knowing you did it right if they're now stuck, unable to go anywhere unless you unleash them. In World 6-1, there are sections where bricks appear in front of you, creating the platforms that you can use to walk across the lava, where if you're quick enough, you can get in between these and get stuck for a second. These will eventually get destroyed by the volcanic debris, so you're not in these forever. Probably a reason why developers didn't remove this, as this happens too easily for it not to be on purpose. The fourth and final installment of the new Super Mario Bros. Sub-series came out for the Wii U in 2012, having one really interesting glitch that causes your game to softlock during the Kamek fight of the final tower of Merengue Clouds, needing to be in boost mode to make it work. Once this fight starts, the person controlling the gamepad needs to place the boost blocks in spots where Kamek is going to swoop down, as when the mini-boss does this, you need to bonk off the block, which will destroy it and for some reason him. This will cause you to be unable to finish the fight, but you are still able to move around and interact with whatever else is there. In Super Mario 3D World that first came out for the Wii U and was later re-released on the Switch, there's 2 glitches where you can get stuck for a brief period of time, kicking things off with a way to get the Super Bell wedged into blocks. To do this, you need to be in cat form and also be in the Mount Beanpole stage of World 1, killing this specific Goomba by swiping at it so that it dies underneath these blocks. This Goomba contains a Super Bell that then gets flung out of it and gets stuck in the blocks. Although they can just be easily hit out of them if you break the bricks, so it's not that groundbreaking of a glitch, just something that's not supposed to happen, so I want to note it. Another glitch that I'd say is more on the smaller scale of things can be done in World 1-2, Koopa Troopa Cave, being able to get yourself briefly stuck in the floor. To set this up, you have to knock the Koopa out of its shell, then ground pound this brick away while still staying on the top section of the area. Then, pick up the shell, and simply walk into the hole. Here you'll notice that you're now stuck, but you can just end this by jiggling your joystick a bit, so again it's just something weird but small, but worth pointing out. Next, in the absolutely massive Super Mario Odyssey for the Switch, we're going to look at 3 glitches that can get you stuck in some way, shape, or form. Starting here with being able to get out of bounds and explore the Bound Bowl Grand Prix. To do this, you need to capture the Chevarian Racer and bounce him at this very spot on the window until his head is about to bonk off the ledge, where if you get your timing right, you can exit the Chevarian and clip through the ledge. This then lets you explore the racetrack as Mario, which is really cool. Sometimes, however, hitting a death wall, but there are ways around it, so that's good at least. You can also do this in the Snowline Circuit Class S race, but it's much harder to pull off, as you have to scale up the wall where the ledge is, making pinpoint jumps which is almost impossible. Only having to do this as you have to jump over the death wall, although I am appreciative that this is a thing, even if it is hard to do. Next is a glitch that hardlocks your game that can be done in the dark side of the moon, using Cappy and a Scarecrow to pull it off. First, you need to jump in this low gravity, and throw Cappy so that he's just over the Scarecrow, while also drifting into the void as Mario. Next, you need to flick your controller downwards and capture the Scarecrow, which bricks your game up, with the only option being restarting the software to fix things. Lastly, I just want to look at a glitch I've never seen before, where you can freeze the game using a rock, and talking to the Cap Store employee of the Cascade Kingdom at the same time. If you hit him with it, and then talk to him to enter the store, this might cause things to glitch out, where you then can throw the rock at him again, and the game will freeze. you can actually see the moment the rock comes in contact with the employee's head, which sort of looks like a Dragon Ball. And in this state, you can move the camera around to look at everything, but it is frozen, so you have to restart. The last game we're going to look at is Bowser's Fury. They came out on the Switch alongside the re-release of Super Mario 3D World, having a really crazy glitch where you can get the camera stuck in one spot, although still being able to walk around in this state. To do this, first you need to find the gold pipe, with the most accessible being the one near Fort Flaptrap, and trigger it by using Bowser Jr. Next, enter that pipe to the secret coin area, but you can just leave it immediately as collecting anything isn't necessary. Once you exit, the moment you touch the ground, you have to pull up your map and warp to the place you want to go, all while holding the right joystick to the right as you do this. You obviously know you pulled this off if you arrive at your location and the camera is fixed in place, where you're still able to move around and can get out of frame and easily get lost. I'm sure it's only a matter of time until someone tries to complete the game in this state, as this is pretty awesome and could make for a pretty good video challenge. Alright, that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. I really hope you did enjoy this one. If you did, please leave a like, comment below what you thought about it, and of course subscribe to my channel. Also, with TikTok being removed, I do release daily shorts on my channel, so check those out if you haven't. Also, go please follow my Instagram at Copycat Gamer, where there I'll put some cool clips and items from my collection that you won't see anywhere else. Hope you guys all have a good day, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!